right. Apologies for that very brief delay, but getting things set up here. The reason I wanted to come on and do a live stream is because we do have a very strong cold front that's going to be coming through. It's already working its way through western New York, so as the day goes on, that front will move from west to east. And I do believe that that front will bring the chance for some thunderstorms, also the chance for some damaging wind gusts. And then once the cold air arrives, there's a window of opportunity for a flash freeze. And that's when any wet surface doesn't get the opportunity to dry up before those temperatures drop below freezing. Then, after that, we'll have some lake effect snow that's going to develop heading into late tonight and tomorrow. And some of that lake effect snow combined with the gusty winds certainly could bring some near blizzard conditions. So we're going to get talking about that right now. In the window there, you can see a live shot of lower Manhattan this morning. So it's 8:48, 54 degrees. We got plenty of warm air that is out ahead of this cold front. Hard to believe after yesterday's high near 70 in central and western New York that we're talking about near blizzard conditions. But that is what is likely to come our way heading into tonight and tomorrow. So let's get right to it. I'm going to switch this over to our forecast model. Actually, you know what I'll do first, actually, is show you some of the main headlines that we do have with this storm. So we'll switch over to that. This is what we're thinking as far as snowfall accumulations. I've adjusted this map a little bit because I do think that the band of heavier lake effect snow will tend to be just south of downtown Syracuse. But you can see a stripe there from late tonight through tomorrow where we're going to have 8 to 14 inches of snow. And that actually, for this part of New York State, is pretty manageable. Certainly impactful, but manageable. But with the combination of the very strong winds blowing and drifting that snow around and the cold temperatures, I do think that there will be some tough travel conditions tomorrow morning and heading through the rest of Thursday. You can see it's a pretty narrow band of snow that will be setting up. So let's get back to some of the other headlines too. We have high wind warnings that are in effect for much of central New York and into the Adirondacks. I think winds could gust as high as 60 miles per hour. So there's the possibility with some of those winds of seeing a couple of scattered power outages. Winds when they get over 58 miles per hour, that's when you tend to see branches coming down and some tree damage, and that's what would lead to those power outages. We also have the chance for some severe thunderstorms. So this is from the Storm Prediction Center, and as a cold front is coming through, there's a marginal risk. So you see the scale there on 1 through 5. So that kind of gives you the risk of severe weather, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. So we are on the lowest end of this scale. But it is, most years, this would be the last day of February. We got a leap day tomorrow. But at the very end of February, to have a chance for some severe weather, that is highly unusual for sure, but not unheard of. We've certainly seen our fair share of that before. So the headlines are that there are some big changes coming our way. Those temperatures are going to start plummeting from west to east this afternoon. Won't happen in New York City until later on this evening. We'll have some damaging winds possible overnight heading into tomorrow morning, especially outside of New York City, and then near blizzard conditions as some of that heavy snow sets up downwind of Lake Ontario. That'll be generally southeast of the lake. So those are some of the weather headlines. Now I kind of want to show you a little bit behind the scenes of what I was looking at with the forecast model. So I'm going to switch it back over to our web browser and take a look at some of that. So we'll switch this actually over to our future radar. So here we are looking at the future radar, and I'm going to make this a little bit larger for you so you can see it on the full screen. And there we are looking at that. This is where we are right now with a general scattering of some showers. As the day goes on, we'll see a line of thunderstorms developing out to the west. So you kind of see that playing out here, out toward Rochester, and just east of Jamesville or Jamestown. We will see that line of showers and thunderstorms, then moving off to the east from there. Once that line gets to about central New York, you can see it really strengthens. So you see the line of thunderstorms really becoming a little bit more pronounced there. What's happening right behind that line of thunderstorms? A change in precipitation pretty rapidly because the temperatures are dropping very quickly. So then you see that line moving off to the east. That line, by the way, as it moves its way off to the east, will be the possibility of those damaging wind gusts. So there's some winds up above, a few thousand feet up that could be brought down to the surface, and those are those 60-mile-per-hour winds. So as we progress here, notice pretty quickly we are, and by the way, this is at around 8 p.m. now, so that front by 8 p.m. has cleared New York State, and we are now into the cold air, and there are bands of lake effect snow that are setting up predominantly off a westerly wind. As the day or as the night goes on, that will shift direction. So we kind of got to the end of the forecast model. We'll switch to an earlier run that can go a little bit longer than that. And then the wind, I guess it doesn't quite go out that far, but the general idea is that the wind will shift more to a northwest direction and allow everything to settle southeast of Lake Ontario. So there's a lot of changes that are going to be happening, and it kind of happens in this order. A line of thunderstorms coming through late morning, early afternoon. As the afternoon goes on, temperatures plummet. The flash freeze possibility kind of coincides, at least in central New York, with the evening commute. So that would be about 4 or 5 p.m. Then, as we head into the overnight, the winds continue to be gusty, lake effect snow sets up, and then later tonight it becomes a little bit better organized, and there could be some heavy lake effect snow. What is happening in New York City this entire time? Well, let's take a look at that. We'll kind of switch the view here on our forecast model and switch cities over to New York City and see what happens there, because we're going to see a big temperature drop there as well. So as we zoom in on New York City, the front coming through about 9 p.m. will send those temperatures plummeting after that. So we're still waiting for this new model to come out a little bit deeper into the night. So yeah, that's starting to upload right now. I want to switch this over to the temperature so you can get an idea of what the surface temperatures are going to look like. So I know that's hard to see. Maybe I can zoom that in a little bit for you, but we got temperatures that are around 40 and then pretty quickly 35, and then by 11 p.m. they're around the freezing mark, and then by just after midnight they're around 30 degrees and hovering there just below freezing. So it is going to turn much colder. Of course, with the wind it will feel even colder. So the wind chill is certainly a factor. In upstate New York, so here's where we are this morning in the 50s. As we move the clock forward, if this will update, it's starting to go to the next model. All right. Well, thanks for that. Look at that front, though. Look at that divide in the temperature. So we could see those temperatures spike maybe into the low 60s just ahead of the cold front. And then look at how this progresses. That deep line of blue there is the cold front. So we go from 60s, and 2 hours later, we're in the 30s. That is at 6 p.m. We're at 38. So maybe it's a little bit beyond the evening commute. And then we're falling to about the freezing mark certainly by 7, 8 o'clock. All right, so again, lots going on here. If anyone has any questions, feel free to drop that in the chat there. I am taking a look at that. But with the chance for some thunderstorms, the chance for damaging winds, some near blizzard conditions, there's a lot going on, which is why I wanted to come on and talk to you. Actually, I do want to show you one other thing. This is a look at the discussion from the National Weather Service. And in order probably for you to see this, I got to make it large again. So we're going to do that. But the National Weather Service was saying that we are going to expect the heaviest snow to fall from late tonight through late Monday or Thursday morning, when snowfall rates could reach 1 to 2 inches per hour. And that would be in the most persistent bands. That will be near the Syracuse area, where totals would be 6 to 9 inches and possibly more. Tough call in Oswego County, of course, because that's just to the north, but certainly could see some heavier snow at times pushing into southern Oswego County. But the part I really wanted to show you is that keep in mind, a lake effect snow warning with the wind and the blowing snow and drifting snow could cause near blizzard conditions. So you see that there, near blizzard conditions at times in the heaviest lake effect snow bands. And what is a blizzard? Well, if you have not checked it out, my Did You Know today is actually about blizzards. You don't have to have snow actively falling for it to be defined as a blizzard. A blizzard happens when you have visibilities less than a quarter mile because of snow. That could be blowing and drifting snow, not snow that's falling. And then you have winds that are 35 miles per hour or greater, and that has to happen for 3 hours in a row. So visibility less than a quarter mile, winds over 35 miles per hour for 3 consecutive hours. I think there could be parts of central New York that actually achieve that late tonight and tomorrow morning, which is why we're saying at the very least it'll be near blizzard conditions, but we very well could have blizzard conditions late tonight and tomorrow. It doesn't have to actively be snowing. That means it could have snowed an hour ago, and then we have the wind blowing and drifting that snow around, causing those low visibilities and tough travel conditions for 3 hours in a row, and you can still have a blizzard. So just a little tidbit on that, which if you want to read the full Did You Know, that is in the email, and I'll put it up on my app here soon. I don't think I've placed it on there yet, at least not so far. So let's go back to the camera shot. It is a dreary Wednesday. Right now, as I'm looking out the window here in Syracuse, it is a pretty quiet day as well. But we will certainly see some big changes coming our way later on tonight. So be ready for it. If you're in central or western New York, definitely try to avoid travel later on tonight and tomorrow morning. If you can work from home tomorrow, that'd be a great idea, because I think conditions will be pretty bad. And then in New York, get ready for a big change. In New York City, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be easily almost 20 degrees colder for tomorrow. So that big change, by the way, doesn't last very long. Let's see if I can add a graphic here to show you the extended forecast, which is certainly interesting because there are some big temperature swings. This does not last very long. We're looking at a big cool down, but then a big warm up heading toward the weekend. So let's see if we can change that and put that back on the screen. And let's see. I guess we have to reload it for you to be able to see the updated graphic, which we can do real quick. But we are expecting the cold air to only really be around for about 2 days. So here's a look at that 7-day forecast for New York City at least. And you can see there that after being, up near, probably 60 degrees today. I guess that doesn't show that. Oh, I see what's going on here. We will change that. After being up near 60 degrees today, we will fall to near 40 tomorrow and then Friday. And then it looks like as we head into the weekend, we are back into the 50s. So a big warm up after a big cool down. And you can see next week, we actually are in the upper 50s. So pretty amazing change there. Right before I leave you, I forgot I did have the radar uploaded here, so take a look at that, where we are right now. There is some heavier rain that is just off to the west of Syracuse, so over the next couple of hours, expect the heavy rain to really pick up, and then there could be some rumbles of thunder and perhaps some strong gusty winds with some of those thunderstorms later this morning and early afternoon. Just a lot going on here on this Wednesday. All right, so that is the weather update on this Wednesday morning. I will upload this, of course, save it there on the YouTube channel. So for anyone that didn't get to watch it, you could be watching it a little bit later on. I will give you, of course, weather updates throughout the day. Stay tuned to your weather app. If you haven't downloaded the weather app, I highly encourage you to do that. It is available in the App Store and the Google Play Store. I also offer my weather subscriptions. So some of these emails, you'll get them first. If you have not subscribed yet, the email address is pretty easy. Rather, the website address is pretty easy. I'll put that on the screen for you. That is ericadameontv.com/sign up. You can see it right there on the bottom of the screen. So if you'd like to sign up for my weather subscription, you can do so right there. Go to that website and you can sign up. It's $5 a month, which is one coffee. And these days, it's less than one coffee at Starbucks. So great talking to everyone. I do see a couple of questions. Flash freeze outside of Buffalo here. yeah, get ready for it. March is coming in like a lion. Normally, March 1st would be tomorrow, but not this year. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for joining live stream. And again, sign up if you have not signed up yet.